Hey, math students. Working again with one of those little brain teasers that helps us to build algebraic reasoning. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure out what each of these symbols stands for. I actually had a student tell me what these little symbols were, but because I know nothing about cars, I know this one's a tire, y'all. But the rest of them I don't remember. I think maybe this was a piston. I don't remember what this was called. If you know anything about cars, you're laughing at me right now, but it's a good thing I know something about math. So let's take a look. These little funky things that I actually don't know what they're called, and I'm going to call pistons. I like starting with this first line here because it only has one type of shape in it. One unknown thing that we don't know what this gray thing is. And so, but we can see that when we add together three of them, we get 30. So we could think about what three numbers could I add together. Now, I could use algebra to do this, or I could just use some simple arithmetic common sense and say, well, 7 plus 7 plus 7 would be too small. That'd only be 21. 8 plus 8 plus 8 would be 24. What number could I add together 3 times to get 30? Of course, it would have to be 10. The only way I could do that is if each one of these suckers was a 10, because 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. Great. Now that we have that figured out, anywhere we see that particular picture, we can fill in a 10. So I'll put a 10 down up here. I'll put a 10 down there. Great. So now I'm saying 10 plus a couple of tires equals 20. 10 plus the same number 2 times equals 20. Well, again, I can just pick numbers and I can guess and check instead of using algebra if I really want to. So like I could say 10 plus, I don't know, what if tires were 3? So 10 plus 3 plus 3? Well, that'd be 16, too small. What if tires were 4? 10 plus 4 plus 4. 18, still too small. But if they were 5, 10 plus 5 plus 5 would have to be 20. Okay, so each one of those tires must be 5. So now every time I see a tire, I can fill it in with a 5. Great. Now, looking at this next line, I'm trying to add up again. So I have all plus signs here. I'm trying to add up to 9. 5 plus what equals 9? Well, that would have to be, these each would have to be 2. 5 plus 2 plus 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that would work. Now, I have to tell you, the first time I did this problem, I screwed up. Right here is where I screwed up. Let me show you how I screwed up. I just went, hey, look, those things are 2, and I wrote a 2 right there. And I screwed up because even though I'm an algebra person, I'm not a super visual person. Did you see what I didn't in this picture? Did you see what I didn't in this picture? Did you notice that up here on the row before, there were 2 of these little guys? I don't know what they are, spark plugs maybe? 2 of them for the number 2, and down here there's only 1 of them. And so this shouldn't be the number 2 right here. This should actually be the number 1. And that's how I screwed this up the first time. Okay, so now I have all my numbers in place. 5 plus 1 plus 10. And there's another way you could easily screw up this problem, and that would be just working from left to right. It worked for us in the other problems because in the other problems it was all addition. Doesn't really matter what order you add in. But here I see 2 different operations. I see addition and subtraction. Anytime you have more than one operation going on in a problem, you have got to consider the order of operations, which say do any groupings first, then do any exponents, then any multiplication and division, then any addition and subtraction. So it's going to be important that we do this multiplication before we do the addition. 1 times 10 is 10. And now to that I'll add my 5. And so the correct answer to this is 15. And this is a tricky little problem for more than one reason. So watch out for that visual trick they did, but watch out also for the order of operations. And if you don't know the order of operations, you've absolutely got to. They're vital for any algebra, including the GED test. So I do have a full video lesson on the real order of operations. I highly suggest you should check out if you've never heard of that. All right, so final answer is 15. If you have any questions about this, be sure to drop them in the comments.